This should be played at high volume, preferably in a residential area.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
1, 2, 3. Lovely. And welcome to the Maastricht edition live on Facebook. Tonight we'll be joined by not one but two guests. We have the lovely Adina Petre, and we also have Robert the Koning. So we'll be talking about mental health and wine. So you will see how that combines. So welcome everyone.
Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Maastricht edition. Yes, here we are again. And as Matt says, we've got all bases covered this evening.
We do.
How to get through Christmas with wine and with good, clean mental health. It's going to be interesting. But how is everybody this evening? Tracey, Matt, how's your week been?
Good. What have I done? I made mincemeat and mince pies and mixed peel. You know, you can't find mixed peel here. So I was like, I'll make it myself. So I found a recipe. And I didn't read all the recipe. I just thought, I've got all of that stuff. It'll be fine. It took like 6 hours.
You're not. It's kind of like your wall painting exercise, Matthew.
Could you just explain to some of our viewers out there who don't know what mixed peel is?
So mixed peel is the peel of oranges and lemons, which you boil. I can tell you, you boil it for 5 minutes, then you drain it, then you boil it for another half an hour, then you drain it, then you add more sugar, then more water, and it takes forever. But eventually you do get a nice sugary peel of a lemon and an orange that you can eat. And then you chop it up and you put that in your mincemeat, which is not real meat for non-UK viewers.
Yes.
It is a sweet dried fruit mix, which you put in mince pies, which are traditional at Christmas.
Which are fabulous.
Yes, they're lovely.
I love
There was a lot of effort, I must say.
There is.
Oh, why you don't have your own cooking show is beyond me, really. I mean,
It'd be very boring.
you really convinced us to do that.
I don't know if you've ever seen Big Bang Theory, where you've got Sheldon Cooper doing fun with flags. You could do something similar with cookery, you know, cooking with Matt. I think it would be a hit. 2021.
I think you're probably right. Well, for me, it's been a very interesting week. It was my husband's birthday yesterday, JW. Happy birthday to him. And celebration, as part of the renovation that we've got going on here, we went to a bathroom shop and tried out some toilets.
Fabulous.
I have to say, considering the year that everybody's had, you would probably appreciate the outing just as much as I did, even though we were trying out toilets. It was the highlight of the year.
Oh, well, I think it sounds fabulous.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, you have the opportunity to go out. You have to go out. We had to do this. So off we went, masks all over the place, and we sat on a few toilets, and comfortable they were. So toilets have been picked. Everybody will be pleased to know.
It's made my week all the better, I must admit. Thanks for sharing, Joe. Good to know.
So anyway, we've got lots going on this evening. We've got guests all over the place. We've only got a couple of weeks till Christmas, of course. Hope everybody is shopping safely out there. We will be talking a bit about that later. And because we've got an extra guest this week, we're going to go straight into Matt's review, I think, because we need to find out what Matt thought of the album that was chosen for him this past week. Yeah. Now, I think, Tracey, you chose the album last week. What was it that Matt was listening to?
I did indeed, Joe. I chose for Matthew last week Stanley Road from Paul Weller.
Yes, you did.
Yes.
And did you give him some tips on where and how to listen to it?
Well, I did send him the album cover and the song list, so he knew exactly which one he should be listening to.
Okay.
I think in the show last week, we kind of suggested perhaps, you know, with a glass of wine or something, you know, that you could appreciate the lyrical brilliance of Mr. Paul Weller.
Yes, exactly.
But I'm curious, Matthew tends to listen to music when he's cooking or painting or doing something creative. So let's see what he did this week with Paul, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm terrible. I can't really sit and listen to music. I find I always have to be doing something. Like I'm the same. If I'm listening to a podcast, I need to be doing something. So I was cooking when I was listening to the album.
Okay.
I thought it was quite good. It was quite chill.
Okay.
Quite rocky as well. Jacob told me it reminded him of the Rolling Stones, There you go.
Okay.
Yeah. But there's
Fair
some songs that have that kind of vibe, perhaps. Yes.
Okay. I don't know what Paul Weller would say about that because he's a mod at heart
Oh,
and
yes.
not much of a rocker. But I don't know. But I mean, look, the groups like the Beatles and the Stones have been influencing bands for what seems like millennia because the Rolling Stones seem to have been around a long time. But did you have any favourite songs, Matt?
I can never remember the names of the songs.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe one of the ballads or one of the more upbeat numbers.
I like the upbeat ones. I'm not a huge ballad fan.
Right.
But, yeah. No, I thought it was a good album. I think, I think I would give it, I think I'd give it an 8. I think it was a solid 8.
I think that's not bad. Paul Weller will be happy with that.
I'm sure he will. Is it an artist you think you would listen to again?
Maybe.
Okay. Well, I think we talked about this last week, Tracey. That Paul Weller has done like most genres. I mean, he's covered everything from the beginning when he was with the Jam up until today. He's covered so many different genres. So it might be worth Matt dipping in again and seeing what another album gives you because he does chop and change from album to album. So he's definitely an interesting guy.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's good.
That's not bad.
A solid 8. We're okay with that.
Solid 8.
Okay, so my choice for you for the coming week, we're going back. We're going soulful. And we're going to a young man who's no longer with us by the name of Marvin Gaye. Ooh. And I thought we might do a best of because I wasn't. The thing is with Marvin Gaye, he's had a very successful career as a solo performer, but he's also done some really good duets with various different girlies. One of my favourites is Tammy Terrell. And if you go onto the best of Marvin Gaye, you will cover not just his solo work, but also many of the duets as well. We're going old Motown here. You're going to be very hard pushed to find a song on there that you don't like. I'm sorry. I'm putting it out there. I'm saying it. There'll certainly be some songs on there that you'll recognise. He had an amazing voice, and the songs, all of them are lovely, and they will be earworms for sure. You'll be humming them. You may not remember the lyrics because we're talking about Matt here, but you will be humming them. I'm sure for the coming week. So that is what I'm going to give you for next week.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Let's see.
Excellent. So I will send you an album cover. So that because there's probably quite a few best of Marvin Gaye's.
I think there is, yes.
Yes. So there's a specific one that I've got in mind. So I'll send you an album cover and then you can have a look at that. Excellent stuff. So brilliant. Okay, Marvin Gaye, the best of for Matt to listen to next week. We are going to be joined very shortly, fingers crossed, by Adina Petre. That's the plan. We did have a few technical problems earlier when we were trying to set up the call with Adina and Rob this evening for a bit of a sound check. So hopefully we shall get her with us very shortly. Of course, you know Adina Petre from Insights. She is our resident psychologist here at the Maastricht edition. Yes. And she's going to be talking to us about how the year has gone from a mental health perspective and how to get through Christmas, because of course Christmas under normal circumstances can be a bit tricky.
Stressful, yeah, it can be.
To say the least. So hopefully, as I said, she's going to give us some insights.
Well done.
Very good.
on how to get through Christmas, because many of us, of course, are going to be apart from our loved ones. I think Tracey, you can tell us this. The latest update was 3 guests we were allowed at Christmas, I believe.
That's correct. Yes, the press conference earlier this week has that announcement. So we're now allowed 3 people from another household. So not that many, but yeah.
And there she is, the lovely Adina. Good evening, Adina. How are you?
Good evening, Joe. Thank you for having me. I am quite well, thank you. How are you doing?
We're all doing fine.
We're fabulous.
I've got my Santa hat on. I've said now that that's it till Christmas. I'm not washing my hair for the rest of the year, so I'm just going to leave my Santa hat on, and then I don't have to worry about it. The same way as I haven't had to worry about wearing a bra for most of the year.
Well, yes, regular listeners will know the story of Joe and her bra. So, yes, but it's good to know, Joe. Good to take a stand. Go with what feels right.
So, Adina, how's the last few months been for you?
Quite difficult, quite busy, I have to say. A lot of people are, of course, struggling. During this entire year, it's been, I don't have to tell you, you know as well. Everybody has felt it. It's crazy, just crazy. So yes, busy.
There seems to be a light at the end of the tunnel now with all this talk about vaccines, of course. However, before we get to next year and before we get to vaccines, we have the little matter of Christmas and New Year coming up. And I'm sure in your practice, you've had a lot of people that have been coming in struggling with handling isolation through lockdown and COVID and such like. How are we going to get through Christmas?
Yes, well, as you know, I work a lot with the expat community, and of course with some people that are local as well, but maybe they have a mixed family or such. And it's extra challenging because they can't fly out, they can't go visit their families. And that puts an extra layer of difficulty on everything that has been already going difficult. A lot of people were hoping that they could get maybe a little bit of family comfort, a little bit of their favorite foods from back home and so on. And it's really these little things that are making it very hard for everybody. So I think it's going to be a little bit challenging this year for us expats. But I did kind of observe, let's say, different types of expats that we have here. And I did make a short list of some recommendations that maybe people can try based on their particular situation.
Oh, okay.
Right. So, you know, you have, let's say, the expats that are here and they have a family togetherness. And it's for them, it's extra challenging because they are working from home. Their children are also maybe studying from home. And then everybody has been cooked up in the same house since forever. And here, of course, you have, it's quite difficult to keep loving and wanting and being in togetherness so much because we also actually need alone time. So for them, my recommendation would be to try to come up with a little bit of a schedule that allows them some alone time, and that they even maybe divide a bit the house, right? And say, okay, when I have my alone time and I'm going into this corner, please nobody bother me at least for an hour, because that will help balance things out a little bit. So that would be the first thing for everybody that has a family and that they have this, you know, a bit of a difficulty with it. And the second thing for them would be also to not leave all the holiday preparations and responsibility just to one member. Usually that's the mother taking care of everything, and kids are out and going around, and then it's fine. It's easy, let's say, to handle your kitchen. But if you have everybody in the house at the same time and you have to do all the cooking, then it's extra stressful. So one to combat that stress would be to try to include everybody by giving them a small task, you know, by asking them to help out with things that need help out, but also to resolving to just give up on some things that are useless now. Because if you don't have 10 people coming over for dinner, then maybe you don't have to iron the tablecloth, napkins and so on. So maybe there are also some things that you can give yourself a pass at and make these holidays a bit easier on you and the family. So that would be my recommendation for, you know, everybody that's spending Christmas with their families, because I'm guessing there are quite a few people who are still doing that, even in a restricted circle.
Yeah, I can't help thinking that there's going to be expectations that are not going to get met, because for many people, just on an average year, the build up to Christmas is about, I'm going to have some time to myself, I'm going to relax, or I'm going to enjoy good food with friends, with family, and we look forward to that end of year celebration and time to just kick back and enjoy, where we're restricted, of course, this year. So how do we manage our expectations?
Well, as I said, I think a little bit of compromising is going to help a lot, but also maybe a little bit of, let's say, putting our expectations out there. Because what I find is that out of fear that our expectations won't get met, a lot of people are holding back on expressing themselves assertively. While as if you put them out there, maybe somebody will offer to take, something off your plate. And if not, you can also try to ask for a little bit of support in whatever it is that you're struggling. So, for example, with people that live alone, I think for them it's going to be extra challenging this year because they are alone. Maybe they're also single. Maybe they're also taking some time off from work, so they don't even have contact with their colleagues. And I believe over there it's going to be extra challenging. So my recommendation here would be there are two ways that you can go about it. If you like and miss your home family, then schedule a lot of time with them online and try to make up as much as you can. Cook your foods, order a bottle of wine from Robert, and, consume some alcohol responsibly, of course. Always advise that. But what I think is also very challenging is the fact that when we give ourselves little rewards, be them food or alcohol or chocolate or whatever, we get from our brains, we get that serotonin spike, that dopamine spike, and that makes us feel really good, and we want to do more and have more of that. But what happens is that if we share that happiness with other people, then serotonin also comes in, and that's the hormone of belonging and of loving. So my advice is for people to try to couple these activities together, so not go into even more isolation, because sometimes the tendency is to collapse under this, and I'm alone and I can't go home, and what's the point in cooking my favorite food or something like that. I know and I understand the struggle, but I would say don't do it. Just go the other way around and do cook yourself something nice and do share it as it's possible with somebody that you care about, because this togetherness can still be, even if it's not according to our expectations, even if it's a bit less than what we would normally have. I still think it's better than nothing.
I think we're very lucky, actually, that this has happened for us at a time when we have access to all this technology and are able to video call. It's not the same, we know that, and for many of us who have been spending a lot of our days video calling in conferences and business meetings and such like, it can be quite exhausting. We know this. But I think it's been essential this year, hasn't it, Adina, for to be able to actually just see somebody?
Yes, absolutely. It has been quite essential, and a lot of people have been making use of this. Also in my work, they come in and do the work online because of various limitations. But also, I've considered this as well. I think there is such a thing as screen fatigue, and at some point you simply don't want to have it anymore. This is also what can make people be predisposed towards that isolation that I was talking about earlier. So I've also thought of a recommendation for those kind of people who have simply said, okay, enough screen time, I simply don't want to. Go back, snail mail. Like, it's really, really amazing. Write a letter or 2 or 3 or 5, why not, to all your favorite people and send it out. The post still works. Let us not forget.
What a great idea. Well, Tracey is a big advocate of this, we know.
Yes, I do. I write already snail mail letters, and it really is wonderful. And when you get one back, it's so cool. Yeah. My Auntie C, it's wonderful. Auntie C from Brighton, she's 82 years old, bless her, but she sent me a letter this week. And it honestly, it's lovely. You have a cup of tea, you read it through, and you get ready to reply back. It's wonderful. I can recommend it as well.
Yes, and there's something very therapeutic in that act of preparation, of sitting down with yourself, with your thoughts, engaging your handwriting since I don't know how many years ago. It's a wonderful therapeutic act. So yes, by all means, pour yourself a glass of wine from Robert's shop and enjoy in some letter writing or postcard sending,
Yeah.
Christmas greetings and whatnot.
So tell us, Adina, what are your plans for Christmas, and what availability how are you going to have over Christmas to be able to talk to anybody who might need to have a chat with you?
Yes, well, everybody's always encouraged to contact me via Facebook or Instagram or via email or my website. I'm pretty much all over the internet, so they can easily find me. And yes, I am, of course, available if anybody needs to begin a therapeutic process. If they consider that this is the right time for them, they're welcome to reach out. However, I should say this, I am not a helpline and I don't have a 24/7 schedule. There are some out there. So if anybody's really struggling during the holiday season, if the blues are really getting to them, 113 is the emergency hotline for calling out for help
Okay.
But other than that, yes, everybody is welcome to get in contact. I love people, so I can't have enough. I mean, I've just finished a day of work, started early this morning, but I'm still here with a lot of you, and I just like being in contact with people. So
that's lovely, Adina. Well, it's been great having you on, as always. You've given us some food for thought, as always, and we hope you're going to have a fantastic Christmas, however you choose to spend it this year. We're looking forward to the new year, and we're looking forward to hopefully getting some hugs from you in the new year. Once these vaccines are on board and we can hang out together again, it's just going to be lovely to grab hold of you, girl.
Music to my ears. I look forward to that as well. I was quite sad before realizing I'm not coming into the studio to see you guys. But
hopefully it won't be for much longer.
Way.
Well, thank you ever so much, Adina. Have a very Merry Christmas, and we shall catch up with you again soon.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you all as well. Bye.
Thanks a lot, Adina. Bye. Oh, bless her.
Such a nice lady.
She is lovely. And I tell you who else is a nice lady is Ellie. She's in the house. Good evening, Ellie.
Hello,
lovely
Ellie.
to have you with us. Hope you are well. She says it's good to see us.
Oh, how lovely. That's nice.
Yes. And Adam as well. Oh, hello, Adam.
Hello.
He says good evening. Hello.
Hello.
He's not saying anything about the way we look.
Oh,
but,
right. Okay.
Yeah.
We're happy to have him with us in any case.
I'm sure now I've said that. Something's going to pop up now.
Careful what you wish for, Joe. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh,
Yeah. What I'm wishing for now, I'm wishing for a little bit of zen. I'm wishing for a little bit of peace and quiet, because we need to calm down a little bit. We need to relax. We need to put our feet up, have a glass of wine. We'll be talking more about that shortly. Because I think it's time for the whole of Maastricht, nay, Limburg, even the Netherlands, to come to a grinding halt, to put their feet up and relax, because it is time for this
Story.
Oh, it's poetry. It really is.
I thought, good job, Matt. I thought you did splendidly.
Yeah. Digital pats on the back. Today, it is Thursday, the 10th of November, and you could actually call today.
December, Joe.
As soon as I said November, I went, that's not November, it's December. Oh, Lord. Right, let's try that one again. Today, it is Thursday, the 10th of December. Today, you could actually call it Nobel Day, because they hand out most of the Nobel Prizes today. So this day in history, I could have actually just been giving you lists and lists and lists of all the people that have won. I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to just pop a few odd ones in now and then. But you may be interested to know that Alfred Nobel in 1895, when he died, he left in his will some money that was going to be awarded, or prizes were going to be awarded for physics, chemistry, physiology or medicine, literature, and Peace, the Nobel Peace Prize, of course, that is like the big one, as it were. And since then, there's been a lot of people that you'll know, a lot of people that you don't know, who have been winning all these prizes for the last 25 years. So I'm going to name a few of these that oh yes, I know. But here's an interesting thing. Each year, the recipient who wins one of these prizes, they get a gold medal, and this year the money that they also get equals 968,000 euros. Ooh. So it's not just about the medal that you get or the notoriety of winning the prize. You actually get a big stash of cash.
You do. A chunk of change.
Somewhat. So, yeah, get studying, boys and girls out there, because really, you get the Nobel Prize, you're sorted. It's lovely. Oh my goodness, 968,000 euros. But I'll give you a few names of some people who've actually who've won. But we're going to start off in 1768. That was actually the year when the first part of the Encyclopedia Britannica was published in Edinburgh, in Scotland. Now, I don't know anybody who actually uses those books anymore, because of course we're all Wikipedia these days. But do you own Encyclopedia Britannica, Tracey?
I don't. My parents do have a set at home in Ireland, which they were purchased many years ago, I think from a door-to-door salesman, if I recall correctly. That was how it was done back then. But no, I do have the history books and different, but not an entire collection like you might have with the Encyclopedia Britannica or the old encyclopedias A to Z, where you could look up different things. No, it's all about Google these days, isn't it, really?
Matt, do you have any Encyclopedia Britannica?
No, I've got my phone. It's lighter.
Yeah, there you go. I've got my phone. That's all I need. In 1799, on the 10th of December, the metric system was first adopted in France. And in 1816 on this very day, the Dutch regained Sumatra from the British. A lot of these places went backwards and forwards between the French and the Dutch and the Spanish and the Brits. I mean, it was these countries were just getting swapped around all the time. But in 1816, the Dutch got Sumatra. Now, here's a Nobel Peace Prize for you. In 1901, the first Nobel Peace Prize was awarded to Red Cross founder Jean-Henri Dunant, Jean, and peace activist Frederick Passy. The following year, in 1902, women are given the right to vote in Tasmania. In 1902. In 1903, the Nobel Prize for Physics was awarded to Pierre and Marie Curie for their study of spontaneous radiation. And in 1905, on this very day, Austrian pacifist and writer Bertha von Suttner becomes the first woman to be awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. In 1910, Dutch physicist Johannes van der Waals wins the Nobel Prize for Physics. And in 1936, Edward VII signs Instrument of Abdication, giving up the British throne to marry American divorcee Wallis Simpson. Ooh, the scandal. Oh, it was a big, big story. And it's still, do you know what? I think it's still a big story now, because they still make films about it. They still make drama series about it. It was a thing. It was a thing. In 1963, 6-year-old Donny Osmond's singing debut was on Andy Williams' show. Little Donny Osmond. This will go straight over the head.
Did he sing Puppy Love?
I think that was a little later, wasn't it?
Oh, I've no idea. I only know that song of his.
I think he was a bit older, but you might be right there, actually. But I've got a funny feeling he was a little bit older. In 1964, the Nobel Peace Prize was presented to Dr. Martin Luther King in Oslo. And in 1968, Japan's biggest heist, the still unsolved 300 million yen robbery, occurs in Tokyo, which in today's money is nearly 6 million euros.
Oh my goodness. Well.
Some change as well. And it's still unsolved.
Interesting. I find that quite surprising, because the Japanese pride themselves on, not thieving and that kind of stuff. It's a very safe place. So, ooh, interesting.
Well, they don't do it often, but when they do, they go large. In 1978, on this very day, Superman the movie, starring Christopher Reeve, Marlon Brando, and Gene Hackman, premieres in Washington, D.C. I remember when that movie came out. I was a very excited little girl. And actually, I recently watched the new version of Superman, and I didn't enjoy it as much. Now, I know there's a little bit of nostalgia here, but when you were watching all the fighting in the new one, it was just a bit too fast. And I was trying to, everybody was zooming around, and I can't really see what was going on, but maybe that's my age. In 2009, US President Barack Obama accepts the Nobel Peace Prize in Oslo. And in 2013, Mary Barra of General Motors becomes the first female CEO of a major automotive company. 2013. That took a long time. Also in that year, Uruguay becomes the first country to legalize the growth and sale and use of marijuana. And finally, in 2019, the first fully electric commercial plane, a retrofitted seaplane, completes test flight in Vancouver.
Ooh.
It'd be nice to have an electric plane because then it wouldn't be so bloody noisy. Birthdays. In 1815, Ada Lovelace, the English mathematician considered the first computer program, was born. In 1957, Michael Clark Duncan, the American actor from The Green Mile, was born. Birthday for Kenneth Branagh, who was born in 1960, the Northern Irish actor and director. And 1974, Meg White, the controversial American drummer from the White Stripes. Is she his sister or not? Born in Michigan. And just a couple of local birthdays. Alison Vandenberg, the daughter of our Sam Weeby, is having a birthday today. And Barry Tolson, one of our regulars who watches from Spain, he will be celebrating a birthday on the 12th. Anybody else having a birthday? Happy birthday. Hope you're having a lovely day. And that was
Happy birthday
in history.
Well done, darling.
Thank you very much.
And you've also given me inspiration for a future album recommendation for Matt. I'm thinking a bit of the White Stripes might be an option. Stay tuned, Matthew.
There was a little bit of controversy about is she or isn't she, wasn't there? But you can maybe, if you're going to bring that album up, we can talk about that again later. Methinks. Just a thought.
I totally missed that thought, Joe. There was interference, but I'm sure it was a good.
Fair enough. I was just saying we could talk about the is she or isn't she if you're going to bring up the album as a recommendation for Matt.
Perfect. Noted.
But I do believe we need to move on because, of course, it's time for a bit of news, I think.
Yes, let me get on with it, and then we can have our next guest to discuss the very important topic of wine.
Oh, yes. Oh, my goodness. Should
we skip the news? All right.
Tracey Taylor with the news.
Thank you, Joe, and good evening, everyone. It's December 10th, and you're watching the Maastricht edition. First, a look at your weekend weather, and we will have rain and grey skies for the coming days, with temperatures about 8 degrees in the day and the chance of freezing at night. It will feel cold, but there is a chance of brighter spells on Sunday. Moving to your news bulletin for tonight. As of next Tuesday, non-European Union citizens will have to present negative COVID-19 test results and a completed negative test declaration form when they enter the Netherlands by air or by sea. As of January 1st, when the transition period following Brexit will have ended, the new rule for entry into the country will also apply to most British citizens without a residence permit from an EU nation. In a press conference earlier this week, Dutch Prime Minister Mark Rutte warned that the coronavirus restrictions may need to be tightened over the festive season if infections continue to rise. As it stands, Netherlands residents will be allowed to have up to 3 guests at home for Christmas. Health Minister Hugo de Jonge also announced that should everything go to plan, the hope is to start vaccinating people in the Netherlands in the first week of January. In other news, the first COVID-tested flight has arrived in Rome from New York in an initiative designed to open up air routes between Europe and the US. Passengers had to show they had a negative virus test within 48 hours of boarding the Alitalia flight from JFK, and they were also required to take another test upon arrival in Rome, all 100 passengers on board. And the past weeks have left people mystified by the discovery of several metal monoliths that have popped up in countries around the world. And it would seem that the latest one has found a home in the Netherlands, in Friesland. The first monolith was discovered by a helicopter pilot in the middle of the desert in Utah in November. Actress Pamela Anderson has written to the Irish Prime Minister to urge him to ban hair coursing in Ireland. The former Baywatch star said coursing was at odds with the warmth and goodwill that the country is known for. Hair coursing is already banned in Northern Ireland and in Great Britain. Moving to local news, an armed robbery was committed this morning at a Lidl shop in Haarlem. The suspects fled on a scooter and police are still searching for the perpetrators. There were no injuries during the robbery. And after all the debate, it turns out the shops in Maastricht will not be opening on Boxing Day, December 26th. This is in light of the once again increasing numbers of corona infections and the overly busy streets already experienced during the Black Friday weekend. And it's been revealed that Robert ten Brink, famous for the Dutch TV series All You Need Is Love, has been to Limburg to record the Christmas special of the festive programme. The show will air on Christmas Eve. And finally tonight, a humpback whale has been caught on camera in front of the Statue of Liberty in New York City Harbour. The US Atlantic coast is a migration route for whales, and in recent years more than a dozen have been seen in NYC waters. And that's it for tonight. For more local news, you can follow RTV News in English on Facebook and Instagram. If you are a local business, be sure to check out the Support Your Local Business South Limburg Facebook page, a joint initiative between #Maastricht and the Maastricht edition. And if you want to discover events, concerts and cultural activities going on in Maastricht and the surrounding areas, head on over to the website of our partner, maastrichter.com, to check out their awesome calendar of events. You can also follow them on social media. And don't forget that you can always find us on the Maastricht Edition Facebook page, on our YouTube channel, on Redbubble and on Instagram. For all the details, check out the maastrichtedition.nl.
Lovely stuff, our Tracey.
Thank you, darling.
Very, very interesting, as per usual.
Oh, I do my best, but fun stuff. All you need is love in Limburg.
Yay! Yeah.
Yay.
It doesn't get any more exciting than that, does it?
It actually does. We've got Robert.
It does get more exciting because Robert the Koning is in the house. He's joined us, Mr. Winewinkle himself.
Thank you. Yes, I'm here. It worked somehow. Excellent. Good to see you all. Yes, very good.
It's been a very technically challenging year for most of us, I think, actually.
Yeah, that's true, actually, yes.
So how are you, Robert?
I'm okay, actually. Very good. There's quite a few people, well, we thought as well, and we were stopping with, we wouldn't continue with the store. However, the good news is we're going to be there for at least another 5 years. So here we are. Hey! You're not getting rid of me. Anyway, so that's really good.
Excellent news.
Yeah, because it's a lovely little shop. It really is, and we've had some fun times in there. The Maastricht edition, for sure. We've had the odd little tipple in the back there with a few wine things. It's been great, but it's such a great location as well, actually, because it's in the heart of Wick. There, it's a lovely little street. Can you remind everybody where you are, Robert?
Well, we are on the Rechtstraat, number 49, A, 49. That's fine. Next to the shoe shop, shoe repair shop. Yeah. So most people know that one. We're next door. So that's where you can find us.
And what sort of wines have you got in there, Robert? Maybe we haven't talked about this for a while because, of course, you go down the biological street.
Absolutely, we do only organic wines. Well, at least organic, and then you got biodynamic and you got natural wines, and we do get a lot of questions now about orange wine, which we sell as well. So yeah, but at least organic, and then the whole spectrum. Yeah, and it's people are really catching up to it, and we got a lot of Belgium coming in now for orange wines and natural wines, so that's going to be quite interesting. Yeah, so can't complain.
Yeah,
so
you're not going to complain about where they come from, that's for sure.
No,
I don't mind. I don't mind take on, I'm fine.
Yes.
Couple of weeks till Christmas.
Yeah.
Christmas is different for everybody this year, as we know. We don't
Absolutely.
have the big celebrations going on, but that doesn't mean that we should be cutting back on enjoying a nice bottle of wine with our Christmas dinner this year. So what recommendations do you have, Robert?
Well, it's a season for, well, it all depends what you're going to eat, first of all, yes? So we are having a really good service for you come to our store, send us an email, this is what I'm going to eat, that's what we're going to offer you for a wine. And we do that in different price categories, so everybody can choose to his own budget, which is, I'm really happy with people who spend €6 or €7 for a bottle of wine, and I'm equally happy with people who spend €50 for a bottle of wine. But I don't mind. No, it's everybody his own budget, and we will see to it that everybody gets a really good quality wine for the budget he or she has. So I think that's a really important bit.
Mhm.
What's really nice this year is, we like that a lot of people are shopping local now with us. So what we need to offer a local wine, but we also we used to offer St. Martinez, and we're doing that again. And we got really nice 2 bottles of wine. Yes. So it's Bergdorpje. As you know that the Veilen, where the wine comes from, is officially registered as a mountain village.
Oh.
Those are laughing now. Yes.
I'm sorry. I come from Ireland and Matthew's from Wales, so we're probably going to giggle.
So they're very proud. So be careful. Be careful.
Sorry.
However, it's actually really nice, especially the red one this year. This one used to be really, really light and fruity. Now it has oak for a few months, and it's a bit fuller. It's really nice. So it's a very good wine for Christmas. And it's local. It's from Limburg, and it's almost organic. It's very sustainable, which is
that's important.
And we really like them. So and to be really honest, from St. Martinez, this is the only red wine that I've got at the moment. So they still got Prestige, but that costs like €50 a bottle, so that's quite expensive. But this is really nice. I would say you got your menu. You can choose some really nice white wines. You can choose a red wine. And especially with game, you want to need a bit of a fuller wine. We got some really beautiful Spanish wines, which are really nice and full-bodied. Some beautiful Italian wines, and a really nice new Carbonara from Chile, which is also a bit of a powerhouse. So yes, we're definitely catering for Christmas. We're also having the nicer bottles in the house. The nice Burgundy wines. But as well, we got really beautiful Negro Amaros for way under €10, and I think that's it all fits the season. Warm wines, full wines, to sit at the open fire and enjoy a really nice glass of wine, or with your lovely dinner, of course.
It sounds delicious. But of course, it's not just Christmas that we have. We've also got New Year, and that says to me, bubbles.
Bubbly. Yes, we have. Pascal Lejeune, which is a champagne house. We always get it ourselves. It's really nice, and it starts at €28.50, and it's a really good quality champagne because he got his own grapes. He doesn't have to buy the grapes. So, and he makes about 18,000 bottles himself, so it's really small, and he sells 30,000 kilos of grapes to Veuve Clicquot for their Grand Dame champagne, so the top range of their champagne. So it's a really good quality, and it ranges from the basic $28.50 up to, I think the most expensive is the Blanc de Blanc for $36.50. So it's not expensive, but it's really good for the festive season. So it's really nice.
Lovely. But of course, not everybody likes champagne. Sometimes people like to go for a sparkling wine, and there's some very, very good sparkling wines now.
Oh yes, we expanded our range of Proseccos with a Pinot Grigio sparkling wine. We got a sweeter Muscat sparkling wine. We got a rosé Prosecco, but we also have a lovely Cava. We also got but those are the slightly lighter. Also price-wise, looking at $9.95, so it's a good quality for a really decent price.
Yeah.
And well, for everybody affordable, I think. And if you don't want to drink a lot, we also got 1.2 bottles of champagne of
Ah.
prosecco. So if you think, I'm sitting with somebody, I'm going to give her 1 glass of prosecco. That's the bottle for you. I would go for the whole bottle anyway, but
Well, I have to say, under normal circumstances, if you have a house full of people, there's probably that one old aunt in the corner that you think, no, just give her a little Bucks Fizz and that's all she's getting. But but this year, I wouldn't be surprised if actually there's maybe more alcohol than normal being consumed over the Christmas period.
It's true. We notice a lot that people are going to get their dinners with really nice restaurants, and they also come and get the wines in our store. Or hotel guests, which they can't only drink till 8 o'clock, so they buy bottles of wine for after 8 o'clock for in their room. So, that side of the business is not doing too bad. We can't supply the restaurants, of course, at the moment, but we know that. But therefore, we're really happy with all the people who are coming and visit our store.
Yeah. So going into next year, then, any plans for the store? Because you say you're going to be there for another 5 years. You still got the wine tastings going to be going on next year?
Yes, and if we can do even bigger wine tastings. Normally we're only limited to the table at the end, but now we've also cleared the whole ground floor, so we can do up to 25, 30 people for larger groups. So that's really nice. I've already painted one wall, but
if you need a painter, match your man.
You can ask that.
I can do a little line.
You only need 3 weekends to do it.
Look, I've got plenty of wine, and it's only one color, so nothing can go wrong there. Famous last word.
Nothing can go wrong. Are you kidding me? 2 bottles of wine each. I'm not sure that you would end up painting the right wall. It probably
not yet.
Kids.
No, I think it's going to. Everybody's welcome to start painting. No, but we're going to do it, and as soon as we're allowed to do the groups again, we definitely will be ready, and we're going to do the garden up and make it a really nice area, so we can do tastings outside next summer.
Lovely.
I think something maybe you should consider. You help me out here. What is it when you get? It's not ordained, but you're allowed to conduct weddings. What is it?
Yes.
There's a particular word.
It is ordained, I think, Joe.
Okay, so I think you should do this, Robert, because this would be a fantastic place to have a wedding.
You don't have too many friends, yes?
Well, the thing
it's not big, is it?
No,
only for the ceremony. Yes, you can do that.
Why
in
not?
The garden. Why not? Good for you. Yeah.
What?
I mean, we know a few people who do conduct the wedding ceremony, so that's a very good idea, Joe.
There you go.
Oh, excellent.
Okay, well, as it was my idea, then I would think that I should be invited to every wedding that you hold there, because it was.
I think it should be one of the. You want to come and have the ceremony here? Yes. Okay. However, there's one. You need to. Obey one rule. Joe needs to be there.
I have a suspicion that actually you're going to lose business. So maybe.
No.
No, not at all, Joe. Just as long as you got.
Don't say
Just
it.
make sure you got your bra on. You'll be fine.
No. Basically, we're going to have second weddings.
But okay,
so,
yes.
One with Joe, and then 3 years after again, because
Because you don't remember the first ceremony. See, this is a business model for sure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for joining us this evening.
Absolutely, you're welcome.
You're going to be staying in the shop. It's excellent news that you're going to be staying there. We're really, really pleased for you. Have a wonderful Christmas.
You too, all.
You, Anouk, and the whole family. We will hopefully be seeing you at some point in the new year. And as we said to Adina, hopefully we'll be a little bit closer, and we can have a little bit of a hug with our bottles of wine.
Yes, of course. Yeah, no problem whatsoever.
Just quickly before you go, is there a cut-off when people can order wine from you for Christmas?
Yes, 24th.
Oh,
Oh, score. That gives enough room for everything.
We're quite flexible. You know, no worries.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, Robert, thanks ever so much. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
Christmas, and we'll see you in
Have
the
a
new
great
year.
evening and great Christmas. And, you know, well, enjoy your wines. And, you know, everybody out there, if you don't have your wines yet and you have a problem with your menu and you don't know what to choose, we will help you.
Brilliant. You heard it from the man himself. Thanks, Robert.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Oh,
Oh,
bless.
what a character.
And he does have good wine. I mean, I
Yeah.
know we've said it before, but you know, I've got some of his right here. It's good. It's good wine, and the organic thing. Yeah, I'm on board with that.
All happy with that. And also, like you said, it's affordable. You don't have to feel. Sometimes you might think I'm going to a wine shop, and if I don't spend 30 bottles of wine, 30 euros on a bottle of wine, that he might, scoff at me or not be. But it's not at all like that. You can go and spend €5 and you'll still get the same good service and still a decent bottle of wine as well. And bubbles.
Right, because the other thing is as well, quite often, as soon as they add the word organic to food or drink, all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's going to be more expensive. It's not. This wine is very, very affordable. So yeah, get yourselves down there.
And Goody's got some local wines in the mix as well, so that's also nice.
Well, do you know what?
Yeah.
We watched, when was it? I can't remember where it was now. There was a documentary we watched recently, and they were talking about, it was in Scotland. Yes, it was in Scotland, and they had a vineyard, and they were making wine, and we were like, Scotland? But the way the climate is changing now, there's countries all over the world that are producing wine. So,
well, the UK... Sorry, I was going to say the UK is coming up on the level for their sparkling wines because of the climate there. So,
The British wines. I haven't heard any coming out of Iceland yet, but give it a couple of years. I'm sure it's going to start warming up there as well. So yeah, lovely. We like a drop of wine on the Maastricht edition.
We do. God knows we need it.
Certainly. And are you stocked up with your wine for Christmas?
Yes. I still have wine Robert gave us actually from back. Not that much of it.
That doesn't compute in this house whatsoever. But you're all set for Christmas, are you, Matt?
Not decided what's for dinner yet. I quite fancy some game, but I have to find where I can purchase them.
Oh, interesting. And what sort of game are we talking about? Are we
quite fancy some venison?
Oh. Yeah, you're going to have to go to a specialised butcher for that.
Yeah, find a butcher.
You might have
to. You don't really see turkey here, do you? Like in the UK, turkey's everywhere.
Yeah,
here,
I get my turkey in Germany at Real, the big supermarket Real. So they always have turkeys. I will not be getting one as big as I normally do because we normally have 20 odd people around the table. So this year they'll be considerably less. So
will be quite a lot less, yes.
Yeah, it's usually something like a 10-kilo turkey or something like that I usually get, and we won't be, not this year, otherwise we will be eating turkey till next Christmas. But
you might well do, crumbs.
Flaming turkey wings.
La 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 la. Should we tell people we're doing our Christmas special next week?
Oh yes, we are.
Yeah, we could talk about that now, couldn't we? Before Matt goes Dutch, why not? Yes, so we've got a Christmas show next week. For those of us who follow us regularly, of course, we are broadcasting every Thursday. And this year, our last show before Christmas is on the 17th. So that's next week. We've got lots coming up next week. And we're going to have a new schedule between the Christmas and New Year period. So keep looking at social media for that, because we're going to try and squeeze in a couple of shows over the Christmas period just to try and maybe lighten things up a little bit and get people involved. You'll be able to message us, and we'll have a bit of a sing-song and such like over Christmas period. So Christmas, New Year, we will be here. Of course we will. We're not going anywhere.
We're around. In fact, there's a rumour we might even be doing a show on New Year's Eve as a sort of pre-party party.
Well, the wine will be in from Robert, so why not?
Yes, wine not.
Indeed. And I also believe that next week we might have a little special guest who's going to be joining us.
Ooh. Oh, I do hope that he can. Let's see.
I do hope so. That will be my top of my Christmas wish list this year. So keeping our fingers crossed for that one. However, we're coming up towards the end of the show. Before we disappear this evening, I think it's time for Matt to go Dutch.
Oh, yes.
Sure.
Oh.
So, this Monday, I posted about my old faculty building.
You did?
Because, it's called the Hof van Tilly, but more commonly known as FASOS, if you're a student in Maastricht, the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. And it's like in the middle of the Grote Gracht, so like comes to that like sort of point. Actually, it's a horrible junction. You'll know it if you know that street. There's a really horrible junction in the middle. The building's there. So it's a really interesting building. Actually, I didn't realize exactly the story behind it, but originally this building was a refugee house for a local monastery in the, I think it was the 16th, 17th century. So people used to come there for various reasons, if they were political exiles or needed some help. So they came to this refugee house. And then eventually I think it was the abbot who owned the land decided, actually, I'm just going to give it to my two daughters or some relations. And then one of them, she has a great name. She's Anna Antoinette de Aspremont Reckheim.
Wow. Try fitting that on a Christmas card.
Yeah. So she was married to another guy with another great name, Claude Frederick de Cerclais van Tilly. They got married. Don't know how they sorted out their surnames.
I want to write them a Christmas card.
Yeah,
I tell you, they're quite greedy. They took all the names.
Exactly. So that's why the building is called the Hof van Tilly, because the husband's surname was Van Tilly at the end, not the whole name. And they built the mansion that's currently on the site, well, part of it at least. And it was a huge building. And the main entrance at the moment that is used was the carriageway for their carriage. And if you go into the main entrance, I think most people can just walk in. I'm not sure it's open at the moment, but when it is open, just have a wander into the courtyard and you'll see it's a very nice building. It's got a really fancy fountain, nice trees in the courtyard. And so this building was a mansion in the 18th century. And then in the 19th century, it was the center of revolution and political intrigue, because the guy who bought it was very much supportive of the Belgian Revolution, which we talked about a few weeks ago, in 1830. So he wanted Maastricht to become part of Belgium. So in 1830, he arranged with some local political activists to try and arrange a coup. So he would kidnap the local officers, army officers from the garrison, and take the city hostage and become part of Belgium. But unfortunately, the plan was, well, it depends on your political persuasion, and unfortunately, or good, he was found out and arrested by General Dibbets, who's a very controversial character in Maastricht, because he made sure that the city stayed Dutch. And he was arrested and eventually sold the house because he was disgraced. And then eventually in the 1990s, the building was purchased by Maastricht University and renovated and became the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. So if you do get the opportunity, have a wander in. It's a very nice building. It has a very grand salon in the main building, which was used by the French Revolutionary Army government for their assembly, which is now a seminar room. It's a very grand seminar room. So yeah, go check it out, everyone. Have a wander.
Sounds very interesting.
Interesting, indeed.
Lovely stuff. And
Thank you, Matthew.
There are some lovely little buildings dotted about Maastricht. There really are, and some of them are hidden away. You do have to maybe go and explore a little bit. I know, Tracey, you're always coming across some interesting places because you post your pictures on social media. But it's such an old city with such an interesting history that you'll find all these little crevices dotted about, won't you? That to surprise you.
Yeah, Maastricht is one of those plots. I think it's just good to have a wander around. You kind of go left and right and, explore, poke your nose in here and take that little laneway there and all this kind of stuff. Or
make sure you look up.
Looking up. And you can also check out the social media pages of Meet Maastricht, who know everything about the city. And they've got a lot of interesting information on their websites and social media pages, and some very interesting podcasts, Matt, I believe, that you might recommend them to listen to.
Including one about the Hoffantilly. So if you want to find out more about the building, have a listen.
Very cool.
Marvellous stuff. Thank you very much, Matt.
Thank you, Matthew.
So, before we go, Tracey, have you got any titty bitties for us?
Actually, I do, of sorts. First of all, I wanted to let everybody know, in case they weren't aware, there is now an English bookstore in Maastricht that is only English books. Many of the books are geared towards children and young adults, but they also have books for grown-ups as well. And this is located in the Frankenstraat, which is in the Scharneweg area of Maastricht, so quite close to the town. And very interesting. I believe it's a husband and wife team who are running it. And quite interesting. There's a lot of bookstores in Maastricht, but this is the first one that's only English language books. And they also have games like Scrabble and things like that. So maybe if you're in the area or need some books and bits and bobs, you could support them and pass by. And also in speaking about supporting, as many of you might have seen, our Prime Minister, Mr. Mark Rutte, he gave a speech on Tuesday, and at one point he mentioned about the shame that the Horeca couldn't open again and people couldn't go out for dinner and stuff like that. But he did encourage people to consider the idea of one of these home boxes, which is kind of the rage at the moment, where you can still support a local restaurant by doing a delivery or in many cases a pickup service, where you can go and get some goodies that you can bring home and kind of finish off cooking yourself and then enjoy a Christmas dinner or dinner over the festive season. So those would be two kind of tips as well. And last but not least, you can always check out the social media pages of #Maastricht. They have Facebook and website and Instagram, and they're always posting stuff about bits and bobs that are going on in and around the city.
Marvellous. I also happened to notice this past week, Maastrichter, of course, one of our other partners, they have been posting a lot of online events that are going on, especially around music.
Yes.
There seems to be a lot of music stuff happening over for the rest of the year, basically. So have a look at Maastrichter on Facebook or maastrichter.com on their website, because you're going to be able to stream loads of lovely music from around the city into your very own home. So you can have that while you're eating your Christmas dinner, possibly. So
fancy.
Yes, it's all very nice. So lovely stuff. Thank you, Tracey.
Thank you, darling.
Well, look at the time.
I know.
We've come to the end of the show already.
We made it.
We're always shocked when we get to this time. So how did that happen? Well, this evening we had Adina from Insights, of course, who was giving us some ideas about, if we're struggling a little bit over Christmas, how to push through into the new year. We had wine from Wine Winkle Wick. Mr. Robert the Koning was here telling us what wines to have with our Christmas dinner, whether we're cooking it ourselves or whether we're ordering it in. Treat yourself. Get yourself a nice little biological wine from Robert. You will not regret it. As we said, next week, it's the 17th. It's our last show before Christmas. We've got lots going on. We've got special guests popping in. We're going to have a bit of music happening. I mean, there's all kinds of things that are going to be happening next week. And we'll tell you a little bit more about our schedule over Christmas and New Year. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been lovely to have you with us. We shall see you again next Thursday. Have a lovely week. Have a lovely weekend. Whatever it is that you do it safely. And we shall see you next week. Thanks ever so much.
Bye. Thanks for watching.
Bye.